So I seen Bick's email earlier this morning. I've been busy all day. I haven't had time to really do anything much of videos today. It's 9 o'clock at night my time. I've just finally had some time to do something. CFTC approves speculative positions rule with vote along partisan lines. What does that mean exactly? Well, we all know the club, the banksters, the speculators are the ones that cause the price swings, drops, rally, pullback, all that bullcrap. It's all the speculators and the big money speculators, which are the banks. So, you wouldn't think there would be Democrat and Republican people within the effing CFTC. And I want you to take a wild guess. Which party voted, no, let's leave everything the way it is? And which party voted, I think we need to look into position limits once and for all. Let's not allow these big conglomerates to have these huge positions because they can swing the price. I want you to take a wild guess. Which one votes for position limits, put some sanity in the market, or no, let's leave it the way it is and let these criminal bankers keep running things. I want you to guess. Not a hard guess, but go for it. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, today approved a rule, this is January 30th, 2020, approved a rule aimed at trying to prevent speculators, as opposed to the producers or the users of commodities, from causing dramatic price swings that could hurt consumers. God, you'd have thought that's the way it should have been from day one. You want a speculator to set the... they're going to tell me what I should be paying for something? An effing speculator? I'm the user of it. Or maybe I'm the miner and I produce it. And I want the people, the other guy, me, my other self, if you will, the buyer of it, we should be determining the prices. I'm going to sell it, you're going to buy it. No. You two are the most important factors? No. We want Wall Street speculators who give a rat's ass about metals or other commodities. We want them to set the price. The rule, which limits the size of positions on 25 mineral, oil, and agricultural commodities at 25% of the deliverable supply, passed on a 3-2 vote. With Republicans favoring it and the dirty Democrats opposing it. Oh, shocker. Who was the head of the CFTC just a few years ago and left and worked for Hillary Clinton's finance part of her campaign? Go ahead. You know, Gary Gensler, or as I like to call him, Gary the Turd Burglar Gensler. Yep, Democratic top dude of the CFTC. He's gone now. He's been gone for a while. But nonetheless, 3-2. Oh, so the 3, it's like the Supreme Court. We now have one additional vote in the Supreme Court for the Republicans. Trump can get anything done he wants to get done now. All because of one little swing vote, so to speak. Isn't that amazing? In the CFTC, we have 3 Republicans now and 2 Democrats. Oh. And all of a sudden, yeah, position limits are a good thing. We don't want these speculators setting the price of these things. Oh yeah, about 40 years too late, but okay, it's a start. The CFTC has been struggling to write the rule since it was mandated under the 2010 Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act that was passed in the wake of the 2008-9 crisis. Guys, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Well, we finally got a Republican on board. Oh. CFTC Chairman Heath Tarbert said, "Today's proposal is a pragmatic approach that will protect our agricultural, energy, and metals markets from excessive speculation. But just as importantly, it will ensure fair and easy access to these markets for businesses producing, consuming, and wholesaling commodities under our jurisdiction. For the 9 grain futures contracts currently subject to position limits, revising non-spot limits required the Commission to consider an additional complication," he said. "Eliminating the risk management exemption could potentially take away a source of liquidity further out the curve. For a farmer who needs to hedge the price risk on crops that are still in the ground, a bank with a risk management exemption may be the only willing buyer. To mitigate the impact of eliminating the risk management exemption, we have raised the non-spot month limits for the grain contracts. This should allow a broader set of market participants to provide liquidity and help farmers hedge their crop risk as far in advance as they need, he said. Commissioner Brian Quintez, a Republican, said in a statement that the proposal is by far the strongest of the position limit proposals the Commission has considered over the years, and praised it for taking into account, quote, many of the serious concerns that end users voiced. Oh, I wonder when he says end users, if he's talking about you and me who've been crying foul all these years. Remember the CFTC judge and the other judge who was retiring? And when that judge retired, he finally spilled the beans and said, oh yeah, the other judge? He promised to never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, find in favor of any person bringing a complaint against metals manipulation or anything like that. He will never, ever, he promised to never find in their favor no matter what. That was his parting words, wrote a letter, have a nice day. That was a few years ago. What happened? Nothing. We now have some Republicans running the show over there, and once again, on a partisan line, 3 Republicans, yeah, it's time to hold these people accountable. Let's put some position limits in to tamp down on their manipulation. Democrats, nah, they don't like that idea. Let's keep it the same. Telling you, the Democratic Party is an effing communist, socialist, disgusting pig party. It is not the Democratic Party it used to be. Because at one point in time, you could argue, oh, the Democratic Party was okay. And again, I might argue with you, like, it may have seemed okay. And there was probably a few okay people in there. Okay, yeah, I like that guy or that girl. Yeah, a Congress member, okay. And then slowly but surely, well, everyone's voting Democrat, so let's put these socialist communists in there. Again, George Soros funded kind of people. Let's just keep putting them in there. Next thing you know, got the super majority of Democrats. Again, the Democrats run the House right now. I'm telling you, we stand a very, very good chance of turning the House Republican. The Senate's going to stay Republican. The Supreme Court is already leaning Republican slightly. And when Miss Ginsburg gets on out of here, it'll be a little heavier Republican, or not necessarily, again, whether it was a Democrat or Republican, it's pretty much a Republican. I was going to say, well, as long as they're, conservative, you don't have a damn conservative Democrat. There's no such thing. I mean, there may be a label out there somewhere, but there's no such thing. If you're a conservative, a constitutionalist, you're a Republican typically. Nowadays, anyways. They ought to teach a rich man to vote like that. I love that song. Southern Democrat. No. Alabama. No. Change those lyrics around, son. Times have changed. You've been hoodwinked. So, overall, today's proposal is reasonable in design, balanced in approach, and workable for both market participants and the Commission. I am particularly pleased at my request. The proposal recognizes anticipatory merchandising as an enumerated bona fide hedge. This is of tremendous importance to our agricultural end users. That was Mrs. Dawn Stump. She added that in the context of agricultural commodities, anticipatory merchandising is defined as hedges for legitimate commercial users to hedge unfilled storage in positions ahead of anticipated processing. Oh, hold on. Dan Berkovitz, a Democratic commissioner, let's see what he has to say. Quote, the proposal would create an uncertain and unwieldy process with the commission demoted from head coach over the hedge exemption process to Monday morning quarterback for exchange determinations. The proposal would abruptly increase position limits in many physical delivery of agricultural metals and energy commodities, in some instances to multiples of their current levels. It would provide no opportunity for the Commission to monitor the effect of these increases or to act, if necessary, to preserve market integrity. You sound real tough. And somehow I believe you. But my Tommy gun don't. Dan Berkovitz, I'm giving you to the count of 10. to get your no good, dirty lion keister off the commission table before I pump your body full of silver contracts. And oil contracts too. Oh, and a bushel of corn. A bushel of corn. You know, the speculators want to speculate on. Speculators! Mount up. What's that called? That was regulators. Not speculators, that was regulators. Regulators song lyrics. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G's on the streets trying to consume. Yeah, that's it. Regulators. Old school. Some of y'all a little older than me. Joe, what the hell you talking about? Regulators, weren't you? If you ain't OG, you ain't OG, brother. I can't help that. Take care.